Hey folks, I am really excited to be able to share with you Nick's new HDR Effect Pro 2. Yeah, man, this thing, it really is cool. Now, it's a tad faster, but besides that, the way they have brought this all together is just like, it's so photographer friendly and so really, just, I won't say intuitive. It's just amazing. Let's just get to it. So what I did is I went to File, Automate, and clicked on HDR Effect Pro 2, and a dialog box you see here is what appeared. I sit there and click on Open, selected my 5 files. Now I'm going to click on the Merge dialog box. Now this new HDR Effect Pro 2 is really one hell of a program. There's just a ton in it. I'm not going to use it all. Why? Well, first of all, probably because I'm not that smart, because you might have noticed I didn't even click on Create Smart Object here. It's unchecked, but you can do that. Just understand that if you're shooting with like a Nikon D800 and you do that, you're going to have this whomping big-ass file when you get done with this process. The pictures you're going to see were shot with a D4, physically a smaller file, and, well, I'm not going to go back in and use it as a smart object. That's just one of the examples of all the incredible stuff they have thought through in this program. So it's going to take the images, and we're going to get into our first dialog box. And well, I think this is really cool for a lot of reasons. Now, there's more information about all these little features on the Nick site. So go there. There's a whole set of videos to explain each and everything. A lot of things that I'm going to honestly kind of blow by. Why? Because I've done this a few times. So here's our first dialog box. Opens up, and it's pretty cool. Well, I do most of my handheld HDR, gave that one away, didn't I? I do most of my HDRs handheld, which means I'm not using a tripod. So I tend to click on Ghost Reduction and have it turned on. And I'm using it the default 100%. Now you might have noticed that one of these boxes just appeared white. You can tell Nick HDR which one to use for your reference for ghosting, and it'll get rid of the ghosts in the other files. It's just point blank, that simple, no brainer. I love it. Next thing I like, chromatic aberrations. That happens, especially have things like windows. This takes care of it in a heartbeat. Now, what if you can't see that in this preview? Click on the down here in the loop, and you've got a loop that will move around, and you can see in there really quick and easy. I love it. Okay, it's just that quick and simple. What about, well, let's say you took this picture. It might have been days ago, weeks ago, this morning. In this case, this was taken a couple months ago. You might not remember the information or why you even took that HDR. This slider down here is just sick. We can move it around. It doesn't affect anything, but it does give you an idea what information you have and don't have. For example, I bring it down here to the shadows, okay, down the dark end, and look at all the information you can see on the floor. See all those bars in the windows? That's why I shot the HDR in the first place. You can see my shadows kind of blocked up. Well, how much information do I have on the flip side? So yeah, I really have probably more information on the shadow side than I really want. But that just gives you an idea of the depth you have in that set of 5, in this case, 5 images. It's really slick. So with these things checked, you just click Create HDR. And it's going to create this preview. It's pretty darn god simple, and I like it. Now, as you know, my HDR is not the Elvis on Velvet kind. It's more of the realistic. And as in, I stood there, I saw this and knew my camera, because of my highlight or my blinky warnings, were telling me I had lost information. I thought the information was important. In this case, the window frame and the highlights on the floor, I wanted that in the picture. I shot the 5-frame HDR. So now I'm going to simply use the power of HDR Effect Pro 2 to do all that. It does it really quick and easy. So it's sitting here, it's taking the 5 images, putting together the information. Here comes a preview. Right off the bat, look at that. I got information. I got my shadows of my bars. I got the information here. But I'm going to kind of tweak it a little bit. Now, the first thing you might want to know is you can click on the word histogram down here. Oops, sorry. Click on the word histogram right there, and then all of a sudden that thumbnail now becomes a histogram. That can be useful if you worry about clipping some points, and you can change the spectrum you're seeing. Here I have the whole spectrum being displayed. So next, first I'm going to go to tone compensation. All right. Now you have quite a bit of information here you can do, and you can pull out. You just saw in that last one. So I'm going to bring this up to about 20%. You can see how instantly I started to get some information here, which is really kind of sweet. Methodology strength, I'm not going to bring up just a whole lot. You can't sit there and change your HDR method. These are the defaults. I kind of like the defaults. I mean, the photograph itself basically looks as I shot it, but we're going to make some little few more changes. Come down and click on tonality. Now the exposure. I could do an overall global exposure, but I've got 5 images. What if I got really kind of specific? So my highlights. What if I pull my highlights down a little bit? See what happened to the windows right there? That's all I did, is that one little bit. How much is it? Oh, man, it's my favorite kind of increment, a tad. It has this great thing called blacks. I love to sit there and bring my blacks down. Look, blacks just make things start to pop. I mean, it really can't get any easier. You're seeing it real time right off the machine. Now, it does have a structure slider, and you know how I love structure. Now, in this form, though, if I take it over, it's going to be like, a bit hard. So I tend not to use much structure here, but it is here, okay? It can make a difference. So, again, it's just a tad. Just a tad, all right? You do have some other things you can do with color. Okay, saturation, not going to touch any of that now. You have some selective adjustments, which includes what? The famous Nick control points. They work fabulously. Then you have some stuff for finishing. Not that I'm going to use it right now, but it has a vignette and a split grad engine in here. Yeah, that's right. A vignette and split grad. And what's it using? It's using information from those 5 images. It's spectacular. Now, basically, this image is done that quick and simple. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click on the plus sign by the word custom. And I'm going to go and just create a moose hanger. Because I'm sitting here shooting in a hanger. Click OK. With it, I click OK. It's going to sit there and really quickly now, which is the kind of, one of the big speed up parts, because you've really done most of the heavy lifting right off the bat. And it's going to sit there and create, boom, instantly in Photoshop, because that's where I'm in, my final image. And I can do any kind of other work I want to do. For example, removing these ropes, cleaning up this little bit so it looks like this GB is all by itself in the hanger. Get rid of these other things. And boom. It's just really that fast and easy. But let me show you it's really cool. Let's go back to File, Automate. Go back over to Merge HDR Effect Pro 2. Because one just, this sucks now compared to this. Let's get these 5 images. Because let me show you what I can do here. So I've got those presets in there. You saw me do it. Merge dialog box. Again, these are just D4 files, 5 of them. Shot with a 24-70. Again, another handheld shot. It's going to sit there and bring it out. And this photograph, I'm looking this time out the hangar window. Okay, so that big hangar door is open. There's some beautiful skies. It's a Florida kind of spring day. It's gorgeous. But I'm back there with that GB, which is all in shadow. I mean, there's just no way you're going to do that with a single click. And if I want to do it with flash, it could be done, but it wouldn't be the same kind of quality of light because that beautiful polished hangar floor is just bouncing around everywhere. HDR was the best method, but the problem was the shadow on the GB and the clouds out the hangar door. There's no way I could get that in one click. In fact, I took 5, and even that's kind of maybe skimping in a tad. Maybe I should have I'm still debating. But here it is. It's going through. It's doing all its work. I don't have to do anything other than simply, it's going to open up. Boom. Okay. Here's the picture. I don't really need to do anything. I have all my defaults already kind of plugged in there. You can see how, if I went down here to my shadows, you can see how dark it was down here. Okay. There's the highlights, the shadows. Okay. So if I went for this exposure, I was going to lose this. If I went for the shadows, okay. I mean, that's a great learning tool, nothing else. Click Create HDR. It's going to pop up. It's going to, it's aligning. You see aligning exposures. It's aligning all the information. It's taking care of my chromatic aberrations. Keep in mind, of course, I shot it as best I could when I went and took the original picture. So it wasn't like I was really trying to fix anything. I'm just using the power of HDR to combine all the information in the shadows and the highlights to finish the photograph. It's in there going to do its thing. So it's all real time. You can get an idea just how quickly it is or how slow it is. Depends how you want to look at it. Is Photomatic Pro faster? I think it is a tad faster. Is it better? I don't think so anymore. Because here it is. Okay, I'm going to click on my default. See the information just pop up right there? There's the side of that plane. I've got information here. I mean, that's really good reds. Go all the way out. Took care of my ghosting because those guys are moving around, so I just got one person because I took that center image. Click OK, and I'm done. I mean, what more could you ask for from a program? You got information. You can see how sharp the files are. The ghosting works great. It pulled down the information in that sky. I got the information in my shadows. Man, I'm telling you, NYX HDR Effect Pro 2, they've just knocked it out of the park. You're just not going to find a better, sweeter tool for the digital darkroom than that right now.